If you're watching this video, it likely means you didn't pass the bar exam, and that doesn't feel good. But you are watching this video, which means you're ready to reset and try again. And you should feel good about that. This isn't the end of the world, nor is it the end of your legal career. You can absolutely still pass the bar and become a fabulous attorney, just like so many successful practicing attorneys, judges, politicians who have had to take the bar more than once and gone on to have illustrious, fulfilling careers. But first, you need to work through your feelings, spend some time diagnosing why you didn't pass, and come up with a plan for studying again. So take a moment now to remind yourself that the bar exam is only a test. Yes, it's a very important test, but it's just a standardized test that comes with all the flaws inherent to standardized testing. You are so much more than your bar exam score, and soon, when you're a thriving lawyer, no one, including you, will think about this brief roadblock. That said, this isn't easy, and it's okay to be upset. It's a grieving process. You may be sad, you may be mad, or you may have gone through a denial period, rechecking your bar examiner's website to make sure they didn't make a mistake. You may be trying to figure out if you can appeal your score or have your exam regraded. At some point, though, you will come to the acceptance stage. It is at that point that you can start to move forward. So when you get there, what is the first step? First, consider whether you want to retake the exam during the next administration. Make your own list of pros and cons for retaking the exam immediately or waiting. For example, a pro might be that you are still close to study mode, so it won't be too hard to jump back into a bar study regimen. On the other hand, taking the bar exam costs money, and you may need some time to save up some money to cover the costs. There's no single right answer for everyone. It's a very individual question. If you don't have the time to devote to studying right now, or the resources to make it happen, you don't necessarily have to take the exam during the next administration. However, each jurisdiction has its own rules regarding the viability of MPRE scores and other licensure components, so make sure you know how much time you have before your score goes stale or you need to resubmit your character and fitness application. If you do plan to take the bar the next time around, make sure that you register as soon as possible. You don't want to miss that deadline. Your score notification from the bar examiners probably included instructions for how to reapply for the next administration of the exam. If it did not, take a look at your jurisdiction's bar examiner's website for guidance. Next, if your jurisdiction permits, get copies of your written work. Information about how to obtain these should also have been provided in the correspondence from the bar examiners. However, if it's not there, ask the bar support team at your law school, look at the bar examiner's website, or give your jurisdiction a call to see if you are able to access your written work. It can be very helpful to look at what you were actually able to produce during the test, as it might differ somewhat from what you remember writing. Third, think about what you will use to study. You may be eligible for a free repeat course from the bar preparation provider you used the first time, or maybe you think it's better to go with another provider. Take stock of what you have at your disposal, both memorization materials and practice materials, and think about what else you will need. What materials worked well for you? What didn't help very much? You can also reach out to your law school to see if they have any resources available. But be thoughtful about what you use. Avoid confusing yourself with conflicting materials or collecting more resources than you can realistically use in a cohesive study plan. To make an effective plan for moving forward, it's important to reflect back on your previous study efforts so you can figure out what went well and what you need to improve upon. As you work through this process, be honest with yourself. No one is judging you. Only honesty will result in improvement. Start with a general reflection. What are you proud of accomplishing in law school? What are you proud of accomplishing in life? You may be feeling down on yourself right now, but you have done hard things before, and you can do hard things again. So, when you succeeded in law school and life, what factors contributed to that success? Think about how much you have accomplished since your first semester of law school. You have made tremendous progress, and you can continue to move forward. Next, think about your strengths. What are you really good at? How did you use your strengths in bar prep? What went well during bar exam prep? What subjects do you feel confident about? It's common to just want to focus on your weak areas, but your strengths can tell you a lot about what works well for you and how to prioritize your study time on areas where you can see big gains. Of course, you also do need to think about your pain points. What roadblocks or challenges did you experience during your bar study? What bar prep tasks did you need to do more of? What prevented you from doing as much as you needed to do? It is by reflecting on these obstacles that you will figure out how to overcome them this time around. Think broadly. Don't just consider study tasks, but time management, stress management, familial responsibilities, work responsibilities, and everything else you had going on during bar study. Remember, this reflection is only for you, to help you create a better study plan. So be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Also think about your bar prep program and your study routine. Did you use a bar preparation course? Did you follow the plan for the course? How much of the course did you complete? What did your daily routine look like? How often did you review and revise your schedule? It can be helpful to reflect honestly on how much work you completed and how closely you stuck to your bar prep provider's study schedule. Were you regularly revising your study plans, or did you find a groove and stick to it? Did you spend too much time on a challenging subject to the detriment of fully covering others? Think about what worked in your daily routine and what didn't. How might you change your approach this time? And speaking of your daily routine, what about practice questions? Practice questions are really the key to passing the bar. They are the most important component of your bar study. How many questions did you complete during your last bar study? How many written assignments did you fully complete, not just outline or read the model answer for? How many multiple choice questions did you complete? How did you approach completed practice questions of all types? What did you do with the information you learned from question review? Just like you wouldn't practice for a concert by simply reading about how to play an instrument, you won't be able to successfully pass the bar just by reading about the law. Instead, you must practice to improve the skills you will need on exam day. Of course, you do need to memorize the law as well. So think back on how you tried to do that. What types of tools did you use to help you memorize? Did you keep a journal or create charts, flashcards, and outlines? It's important to actively interact with the material. Just reading and rereading can give you a false sense of how well you know the law. Instead, it's best to write out the rules or recite them out loud to make charts and to test yourself, engaging with the material instead of passively reading it. Finally, think about the final weeks before studying and the exam itself. What did those 2 to 3 weeks before the exam look like for you? How did you structure your study? Did the amount of time you spent on practice questions increase or decrease? How did you feel on exam day? What was your experience? To best set yourself up for the next round of study, it's important to critically reflect on your last experience. Your goal should be to keep the strategies that worked and to improve on those that didn't. So when you walk out of the exam the next time, you know that you put in your best effort and feel confident that your bar exam days are behind you.